Hi, Jody. How are you?
Great. Good to see you again, Bianca.
Good to see you too. Thank you so much for getting me all of the information that we needed in
Sure.
advance of today's meeting. I know the goal is to put together some retirement income plan and projections for you, so that information was vital. So thanks in advance for that.
Yeah,
Um,
no worries. Thanks for giving me that way to send you my statements.
yeah. I trust you got the agenda that I emailed over to you yesterday.
I did. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you putting those together. It helps us to know what we can expect from our meetings.
I'm glad you find it helpful. I would also say too, if there's anything that is not on that agenda that's important to you to bring up, by all means, this is your time. Want to make sure that all of your questions are answered when it comes to retirement income plan that we're going to discuss. And I will say too, I actually created two different variations.
Okay.
You've indicated to me that you are not a risk taker with your money, that you're conservative.
hmm
And so we're going to discuss the two different variations. One of them will complement your conservative nature just a little bit more.
Okay.
We'll go through that. The other thing I'd like to mention is these are investment agnostic. So while we're going to talk about projections, I'm not making any specific investment recommendations at this meeting.
Okay.
We always want to start with the foundation. So we start with the Social Security. So that's why our last meeting, we did your Social Security analysis, helped you and your wife pick a claiming strategy.
No, I really appreciate that. I did a lot of research and I'll be honest, I was a little overwhelmed and confused, but that report really helped to dilute things down for us so that we can know what's our best strategy. So thank you so much for putting that together. Just one question based on what you said. So would our next meeting be a meeting where you'd make an investment recommendation or product recommendation? Today we're not going to get into that, right?
We're not going to get into that today. The next
Okay.
meeting would be the recommendations that would complement your plan. So
Okay.
it's a foundational, we build this out in foundation. So we start with Social Security. What are you going to have coming in every single month from that guaranteed income? And then today's appointment, the retirement income plan, is how does your income need stack up against what you've saved for
Sure.
retirement?
Okay. Oh, that
And
sounds
then
good.
any recommendations that are ever made are always to complement the plan. So we got to get some of this basic information worked out for you before we can go to that step.
Sounds good. I look forward to seeing the plan.
All right. Well, what I will also say, and I mentioned this last time, that this plan is really a forecast of your retirement over the next 25 years. In working with me and my team, when we meet with you at least annually, we're going
Mhm.
to update this income plan. Life changes.
Sure.
Asset amounts change, income needs change. So this is a living, breathing document in so many ways.
Okay.
Right now, the plan duration is 25 years. So we have you, living until you're 95 years old. But as you move through retirement and as we update this plan, eventually this plan will be a 20-year plan. So when we get
Mhm.
together, 5 years down the road, it's going to be a 20-year plan and so on and so on.
That
Does
makes
that make
sense.
sense?
Yeah,
Okay.
that makes sense.
All right. So I'm going to share my screen
Sort
and
of a forecast into the future and, hopefully a better one than the weatherman.
I was thinking the same thing. So we have a little bit more concrete information to go off of with this. But I think you're gonna find it very helpful. As we go through this, if you have any questions, don't feel shy to interrupt. Want to make sure that you're asking and I'm answering your questions as they're fresh in your mind. And then I will be emailing you a copy of both of these reports after our meeting. So you'll see that they're each 10 pages long. We're not going to go through all 10 pages today, but we want to make sure we get you as much information as we can to provide value to you in the decisions that you have to make. So we'll start, we're going to go through some of these pages fairly quickly. On this page, this is the groundwork for the plan. So we've taken your assets, the money that you've saved through the years, again, running the plan to age 95. We are assuming an income inflation adjustment of 3%. What that means is that, as you are very well aware, what you paid for 10 years ago, you're probably paying closer to 10.
Mm,
So,
unfortunately, yes.
yeah, and inflation is one of the biggest risks that retirees face. So, as planners, we want to run these reports in such a way that we are anticipating things get more expensive and you're needing more income throughout retirement. If you end up not needing as much income, great, but we want to paint as realistic a picture as possible. So there's no surprises during retirement as much as we can help with.
All right. Makes sense.
You've asked for a net annual income after taxes of $85,000.
Yeah, I think we can comfortably live on that.
Okay. Well, I'm going to focus a little bit on this portion right here where you see these different buckets. As I mentioned last time, we take a segmentation approach to retirement income planning. What that means essentially is that the closer that you are going to get to needing to access funds to generate the income from your portfolio, the more conservative that they should become. So,
Okay.
we really want to ensure the safety of your short-term money, but being able to match in some of your retirement assets that you won't need for income for 10, 15 plus years.
That
Make
makes
sense?
sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Absolutely. Take risk on the longer term money that I have.
Yeah. And again, we want to respect your conservative nature. So we do have to make some assumptions as to the growth rate of the assets in each of these segments. So we're pegging some pretty conservative growth rates, the money that you'll need in the next 3 years, pegging a return rate of 2%.
I think that's very conservative. Yeah.
The next segment of money, a growth rate of 4% and 5% and 6%, so on and so on. So we're not taking it all down to the casino and putting it on black. We want to respect you and your wife and your comfort level. So any questions on that before I move on?
No, I'm sure it'll make more sense when we actually look at the income numbers. But yeah, I can see why you would segment it out for stages.
All right, so let's see. And again, I'm not going to go through all of this. This is the balance sheet, the information that you gave us about your savings, the IRAs for you and your spouse, your joint mutual fund accounts.
That looks about right. Yep.
Here is your Social Security. So we've projected when your Social Security is going to start. We're starting it this year.
Okay.
I believe you mentioned you already contacted them to get that going.
Yep.
After our last meeting. Excuse me. And I'm going to fast forward all the way down to what I call the money page, no pun intended.
All right.
But this is really the real content of the plan. So what I will say here too, excuse me one second, is these different columns. Let me explain that a little bit. So the other income column, that is going to be your Social Security. So that's the money that's coming in from the government every single month that you don't need to access your portfolio for, to fund.
Okay.
And of course, we have your portfolio income. That column speaks for itself. This is the money that you have to take from your nest egg to get to the magic number. Now you'll see this total annual income amount. You've asked for a net of 85,000 after 15% tax withholding, but obviously we're looking at 100,000 that's being pulled to accommodate the gross figure. The other thing I will say too, and actually before I skip to that, the total portfolio assets. So year by year, if we take a look at your Social Security income, your portfolio draw, what does that actually look like to your nest egg?
Okay.
And this brings clarity to a lot of folks. Obviously, we're still using those assumed interest rates, those conservative assumed interest rates. But what does the drawdown look like? So that's what this total portfolio assets column represents.
Okay.
The other thing I'll point out is, remember I mentioned that there was a 3% inflation.
Oh yeah.
So you can see year by year,
Yep.
we're giving you and your spouse more money.
Okay.
So,
A little raise.
never hurts to have a raise. You may get to a point in retirement, let's say when you're, 80 years old and you say, you know what, Bianca, I really don't need $135,000. We can always tailor that down.
Okay.
But we want to make sure that we're, again, presenting realistic figures that will keep you in the same lifestyle that you're accustomed to. So any questions on that before I fast forward to what the plan looks like when you're 95?
So it looks like the total portfolio assets still does pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
reassuring. Yeah, no, that's reassuring.
And one of the main reasons for that is because we've segmented assets for income. So, you are going to see, we're going to see economic good times and economic bad times over the course of a 25-year retirement. So if you're drawing income off of assets that are invested very conservatively, you're able to kind of ride through the ups and downs of the economy. That is pivotal to maintaining the health of the overall portfolio.
Yeah, I can appreciate that for sure.
So let's scale all the way down here to, give me 1 second, we'll get you to age 95.
Whoa. My
yeah,
kids are going to be very happy.
Yes. Well, yes. And the other thing, so we have the other income, that's what you'll have collected from Social Security with a 3% COLA adjustment. This is what you'll have taken from your portfolio, total annual income over a 25-year retirement, total portfolio assets. So when we see numbers like this, yes, your kids are going to be happy. However, when there's a buffer like this, it also allows you to do some of the extra things that you want to do in retirement.
Right.
So we know no car is going to last for 25 years in this day and age. So there's going to be upgrades that you're going to need to do in your life. So you've done a great job in saving. And, while there is no real concern from where I sit that you're going to run out of money if you stay with this responsible distribution plan and assets are set, there are a few unknowns that all retirees face. And one of the biggest is, when you or your spouse will pass away. So as you know, as we discussed last week, when one spouse passes away, the larger Social Security check lives on, but the smaller Social Security check goes away. So that is lost income from spouse.
Yeah.
So we ran the plan to age 95. Unfortunately, if you were to pass away, let's say, at age 76 or age 80, lost Social Security check. So there's different ways that we can structure income, that if you did need more of a portfolio draw to replace lost income, that there would be an income stream that you can never outlive, neither you or your spouse.
Interesting.
And so, we're not going to get too far into the weeds on some of these options. I will show you the other retirement income plan that I created. And this is leveraging an annuity into your overall portfolio. And you'll notice that if there's no deviating from the plan, if you both live till age 95, the numbers are not too far off. They're not that different. However, the unknowns in life, an annuity can help navigate those. So again, we talked about the loss of the Social Security check. This would be income that you can never outlive. So let's go to that report fairly quickly. Again, we're going to start at the same pages. You'll notice that there's $300,000 less in the asset category because those funds are becoming that and generated annuity income for you.
So I just have a quick question on the annuity income. Well, number one, it doesn't look like it's that big a difference to have, you said, a guaranteed income from the annuity, an annuity that provides an income for both me and my wife?
For both you and your wife with no reduction. So unlike a pension, where a lot of times there's a reduction, survivor benefit, the annuity income would be for stable level. Sometimes annuities actually increase their income. They have their own inflation adjustment feature. We can discuss that at a later date. But you would never outlive these funds, even if the funds were spent down to zero. The funds that were allocated to the annuity, you and your wife would still get that monthly check, monthly direct deposit from the annuity. On the flip side, if you did pass away and there's even $1 left in that account, it's not kept by the insurance company, it's paid out to your beneficiaries. So
that was going to be my question. So if we, God forbid, die younger than 95, say we died 10 years into it, we put what that looks like about 300,000, if I'm doing the math right. We spent, I don't know, 100,000. What happens to that 200,000 that's left over?
So that goes directly to your beneficiaries.
Okay, so the insurance company doesn't keep it.
No.
Oh, because I've always heard that with that type of income stream that you forfeit that to the insurance company. That's interesting. I could see, how this would definitely bring some peace of mind.
Yeah, and I think we hear that a lot. I think of the annuities that, maybe we're first on the scene. We're talking, way back where you did surrender total control. And, if you passed away early, the insurance company won, period. So we don't really use those in the work that we do with clients such as yourself.
Okay.
We understand you want the flexibility, the portability, and the reassurance that not only will you have guaranteed income that you can never outlive, regardless of what happens in your retirement and in your family, but if there is anything left, you can leave it as a legacy.
Okay. I like that. Yep. So, potentially my kids might get a little less based on these numbers here. If we looked at that column that you showed me on the other one, the ending number is a little less here, but it definitely would give me and my wife the peace of mind in knowing that no matter what happened in the markets, which is, a lot has happened during our lifetime,
Mhm.
we don't have to worry about those severe ups and downs.
Yeah. So we'll see if we look down here. Yep, that's the figure that same 1.5, almost 1.6 million is
Right.
remaining. And I think too, again, this goes back to the closer you're going to need to access the funds, the more
Mm,
conservative that they should be, or protected in such a way.
right.
So if you're taking income from an annuity, you're not being forced to lock in the loss if the economy is struggling in any one year. So we want to make sure you always have what you need to not only pay your bills, but to have peace of mind and enjoy your retirement.
I like how you said it before, responsibly spend my life savings. So,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Very
well,
important.
so I guess what are the next steps, Bianca?
Okay. So the next steps, I'll stop sharing here. For the next steps, I'm going to email these over to you.
Okay.
Your wife sit and discuss them. We also, we can put together some investment recommendations for you. You've expressed that you're conservative, so I'm going to utilize that in the planning that we make. What I would ask for is any statements that
Hmm.
you have. What we want to do is we want to see where we're starting from to help us
Okay.
determine where we need to be. So I would ask that you email those over. I know you've already done a few of them. I think there was one or two. The mutual funds, I think I was still waiting on. And then what we would do is we would get together, and it would take me about a week, maybe two,
Okay.
and we'll talk about some recommendations that complement that plan.
That sounds good. Let's put something on the calendar.
All right, sounds good.
Let's put something on the calendar.
All right, sounds good.